Good morning and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. This is Act 5.4.5, 2 quests left to go, and again this path has a biohazard path, poison and bleed immune, and when you're running Suicide Masteries and your team is Omega Red and Ghost, it's a fairly easy path, so long as you don't make any mistakes. This is actually, I believe, my first attempt clearing this path. I don't think I've tried it yet. Just because of how easy it is mechanically speaking, and also just like my desire to completely clear. So as long as I have like a half decent start, I just commit to reviving rather than doing what is the unit efficient method of just restarting. I do apologize for the dogs. Nothing I can do about that. They'll calm down here in a moment. This Miles Morales is annoying because of the auto evade. I get memed with that last 1%. Some solid dexes there all the way up until the end. I'm just trying to get that last 1% down. I'm like, come on, Miles, what are you doing? Finally get that last tap in, and I'm just like, 1%? This has happened to me so much this series. I'm just hitting into the opponent and they have 1% health left. Absolutely drives me wild. Move into this poison and bleed immune path. Yeah, so I'm boosted up. I decide that I want to do this, and these health boosts, these attack boosts, they really will make it a lot better. So essentially, my max rank 4 stars are the equivalent of rank 4 5 stars. So that's something to really keep in mind when people are like 4 stars don't have value. They don't have value once you're pushing Act 6, but all the way through Act 5, if you boost up, they're rank 4 5 stars. Like, they are, for all intents and purposes, rank 4 5 stars. A little bit less on the stats, I believe. And you could say, oh well, I could boost my rank 4 5 stars. That is an option, but these are still some pretty strong 4 stars, and these are both god tier, just absolutely OP champions. And they're so much better than my 5-star roster that I saw no reason not to run them. Plus, I'm just like strictly better with these two champions than I am with anyone else. This Colossus fight, pretty good. I got a nice, sexy interception there. I have no reason for why I opted to use my special one there. In hindsight, I don't know what I was thinking. I just think it's that I've gotten so used to proccing it for some free healing. So here, I'm a little worried about baiting into the special 3, but luckily enough, he special 2s, and I'm able to tap that fight out, and I'm at 100% health. Like I said, the playstyle there just comes from I was used to going for healing, even though that was really early in the fight, and I didn't have to worry about that. Next up, another Hulkbuster. It really, I feel like it's a lot of Hulkbuster, it's a lot of Groot, it's a lot of King Groot, it's a lot of Unstoppable Colossus. I don't know when this was made or if they were like really on a limited champion pool, but I'm not looking forward to that Unstoppable Colossus. Hulkbuster, this is a free fight. I'm going to go ahead and punch into him. When I look at Hulkbuster, I'm like, man, this guy should be so much stronger than what he is. Like, I don't need him to be OP, but the guy is just depressingly bad. I don't know. It's the small things. So baiting out that special one, you get so much. I'm able to stay close to him. I really don't even know where I should use my specials for Omega Red. Like, pretty much just the special 3 for power drain, I think. Just because, like, you don't want to use special 1 for the heal because it'll drop your spores. You don't want to use special 2 because you already have Death Factor active. I do get lucky here with the opportunity. I take some damage, so I immediately special 3 for those 30 spores. I get some fat healing here. I just love watching my health skyrocket like that on a regular basis in these fights, really. Punish that heavy attack, do a full combo, special 1, end the fight. Just a little bit less, and I would have gotten probably up to 100% health there. 12 spores, 6%. Yeah, I probably would have gotten up to 100% there. And then we move on to this Groot. Check the nodes. Outlast, that's easy. Dive in with Omega Red. The only thing with Groot you got to be mindful of, and it's something I really kind of reacquaint myself with every time, is he does have that reduced stun duration. So getting heavy in is a little bit harder. You kind of want to have him back up against the wall. I get the unblockable attack there. That's what I'm talking about. Like, really good habit to get into is to get used to always throwing in a couple extra attacks after a heavy, just in case you do get that that unblockable. I'm going for some lifesteal here. I know I've got a long death factor just off of the biohazard, so I'm able to push, and that's what I was talking about. So he shrugs the stun so quickly that you can't get the heavy attack in, but if he's up against the wall, he has nowhere to go, and he'll get hit by the backswing of the heavy attack. There is a chance he'll dex it, but Groot usually doesn't dex, like, very well. Fight's not going great for me. I hate Groot. I really hate Groot. Like, the guy is not hard. He doesn't punch insanely tough, but just that shrugging of the stun and the shrugging of the degeneration, it makes this fight so much painfully longer than it needs to be. So a special 3 for some health here. And it's just, Groot's not a hard fight, but everybody has their Banes, and Groot is that for me. Groot, Iron Man Infinity War, and there's someone else I'm trying to remember, like Groot, Iron Man Infinity War, and King Groot. I really feel like those 3 fights give me more trouble than a lot of people, and they're not even that hard. Like, they're definitely all on the harder spectrum, but as far as defenders go, and you got like champions like The Thing and stuff, who I like meme my way through and I don't struggle with that much. I do want to comment here that this is an enhanced bleed. I checked the node, and it wasn't until I started the fight that I was like, shit, I'm gonna die here. So I'm like, well, let's just see how lucky I get. We'll try to play this normally and do as much damage to this Wolverine as I can. But I made the mistake I made. So I get my heavy in. I got lucky with that. Not good. This fight's over. Death to bloodletting. Maybe if I had played it proper and had been able to get a special 1 in for healing, I might have been able to take the Wolverine out. Maybe if I was consistently just parrying and heavy attacking, I would have been able to take the Wolverine out. I don't revive because I decide, hey, I'll just clear it with Ghost. Make sure that I can take this Wolverine out before I decide to commit to revives. And Ghost is really what I should have brought here. Whenever you have that enhanced bleed, this is where you want to bring Ghost. Honestly, Ghost can do this entire path much better than Omega Red. The issue is that you will probably be committing to using potions, just because you'll be constantly taking that half tick of bleed every time you hit into the opponent. As well as whenever you special, you'll take a lot of bleed damage, which is why I'm pretty reliant on my Omega Red clearing through here. This Cable, like another Cable, I really feel like is a lot of Cable, a lot of Hulk Buster. He has stun immunity, so I think about resing my Omega Red, but I'm like, nope, Ghost is just so much better for this. Ghost and stun immune fights, it's really ideal because you're constantly intercepting. You just don't have to worry about it. So I'm lucky he goes aggressive there. The timing on Ghost is a little hard because you got to not panic and make sure you're ready to throw a light if you can, and know when you have to block and back off. So I get my nice little tap into his medium there, trying to reset the aggression of the AI. I'm able to push in. He specials here, get my dash in. I don't quite get to the special 3, so I'm really happy about that. Take some free damage, but that's okay. I'm able to push, and now I'm just looking for an opening. He's playing too defensive for me. I do have to worry about these specials, but again, like I said, be careful of the timing. I'm able to dodge that last blast of it, and I punch him out. At any given time, if I had gotten an opening, I would have been able to phase special. I just wasn't. It just didn't really show itself to me. It might have been there, I just wasn't ready for it. And then an Unstoppable Colossus. Unstoppable Colossus is a pain. Just a pain. Not hard, just a pain. 40% boosted buff duration. I decide I don't want to be constantly dexing this guy with Ghost, just because every time he goes unstoppable, you spend a lot of time just kind of like hiding. So I'm like looking at my resources, like, can I dump a little bit of health into this Omega Red? And I can't. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll go with 40%. 40%'s not that bad. And I missed the parry right away. I don't know if that's lag input. I went for it, but that's just something that happens to me every once in a while. I'm sure it's just because I'm bad at the game. Slash, internet connection can be a little wonky. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but it always feels bad when you miss that initial parry. So I had to bait this special 2. I was trying to get a love tap on my heavy there, but it didn't work. Just kind of play testing around a little bit. It's really bad. You shouldn't use these to go for greedy plays like that, but what can I say? I'm a greedy player. Bait the special, move out. Heimdall synergy really saves me there. I went for that attack because I was actually like hoping I could trigger the bleed, and luckily enough I did. So that gives me some wiggle room here as far as like parries go. Dex my way out. Now I gotta be super careful. I get my parry off, back off. Special is about to drop off. I get my parry off. I'm able to combo into him. This time, I'm waiting around. I'm just trying to get close enough to build up 10 stacks. I'm able to dash in there because I know I'm going to immediately special 3, just to get healing off of the 10 spores as well as the power reduction on this Unstoppable Colossus. Fight's not looking great. That punishment I took at the beginning really hurt me pretty bad. And then we wait on the Unstoppable buff, just trying to phase this out. It's gone, but I dodged back twice way too soon, and I get immediately punished. It's not looking good. Unstoppable Colossus doesn't need to be that hard. I just played it really poorly. You can, of course, always bring a counter like Spider-Gwen and stuff, but then you got to remember that this is a biohazard node, so your options are pretty much the thing. I believe the thing. There might be other options that I'm not thinking of. I apologize if they're not there. But as far as like removing that unstoppability, I believe only the thing has any kind of immunities, as well as the ability to do it. No, I think you can bring Ghost Rider. I believe you can Fate Seal him. You can't bring Mephisto. Mephisto is poison immune, and honestly, it's the bleed you got to worry about more often. This fight's going much better. Getting that initial parry was really important. You know, what are you going to do? That's the other issue with Omega Red, is that the parry duration is not long enough to get the heavy attack in after the Unstoppable goes off. I thought that my special one would end the fight there, but that's okay. I'm able to just end it here with a quick combo, but, you know, min-maxing that health is ideal. And we're going to move on. Free revive. I didn't realize you can't like look through these paths, but you know, I love a free level 1 revive. That's always great. I was gonna take this path regardless of what was on it, and I got a little lucky with the item drops there. I'm gonna progress through. It's just this Iron Fist and then the Mephisto fight, and then we've got one quest left to go. Iron Fist, this is just a standard fight, so I'm like, let's get some healing off of Omega Red here. Kind of make him as healthy as possible for this Mephisto, you know, so long as I play perfect. I get the parry this time, and we combo into him. There we go. That's something else I did learn. If you've watched my Omega Red video, another option is to do a parry 5-hit combo, parry medium, and there will be another situation where the opponent does not have, oh, lagged out. The opponent does not have a full special 1 bar at the end of it. So, you know, kind of just tinkering around. There's a lot of options there for like alternating up your combos to make sure that the opponent doesn't have a special 1 after you've parried twice and hit into them. And, you know, it's really just niche mechanics of how you want to be playing your Omega Red, / how you roll the dice, because it really comes down to luck at the end of the day. This Mephisto really is just, you got to think constantly building power, constantly incinerating you when you're standing next to him. You can stall it out and play really slow, play really aggressive, and go for like hard damage outbursts and bursting him. But the thing you really got to worry about is the regeneration / the invulnerability he gains when he's regenerating. And the constant burn damage you're just taking from bleeding next to him. Here I'm like, why didn't I get my Heimdall invulnerability? And then I remember, oh, it's Fate Seal. So it's actually really important to get Heimdall value out of Heimdall here. You really got to be, you know, on top of your game and make sure you survive for at least, I think 15 seconds is the Fate Seal. It's a solidly long Fate Seal. I know I'm bleeding here standing next to him, but I'm really just trying to get damage off, build up those spores. Omega Red's not the greatest in this case, where like I'm trying to get value out of my double edge, but also worried about taking damage from Aura of Incineration. But Fate Seal's dropped. I'm going to get a big heal here. And I've gotten a decent chunk of damage off of him. So this time around, I'm waiting for that Aura of Incineration to fall off. And I need him to either special 1 or, you know, dash into me so I can get a parry in. special 1 off, and I'm able to dive in and punish. Of course, he procs this Aura of Incineration, but that's okay. He immediately special 1, so I'm able to punish in. Here, I'm really relying on the Heimdall synergy. I drop my special, my heavy attack, and now I'm baiting out the auras, as that's going to kill me if I'm too greedy. I dive in. I'm hoping I can get a heal off my special 1, and I just barely survive, but I don't realize the massive amount of power gain, and he's able to special 3 me. So I do end up dying here, but that was a pretty good run with Omega Red, considering the amount of health I had on him to start. So I'm pretty satisfied with that clear. So the only thing is that Mephisto has 5 persistent charges, so when I punch into him here, he's going to heal up. Like, this is a misleading amount of health on the Mephisto. So I'm punching into him, phasing out. I didn't realize that Fate Seal doesn't prevent Ghost from phasing, and doesn't prevent you from getting those guaranteed crits. I don't know if that's a bug, but either way, I'm totally fine with it. So punch into a special 2. I'm gonna go ahead and proc that and rephase. I get lucky, he goes aggressive. I reproc Aura of Incineration, and now it's just a matter of, can I play proper? I don't. I make the mistake. There's no way for me to phase the Incinerations off, and I die. Not the ideal situation I wanted to be in here, but what are you going to do? Go in with Heimdall here. I'm thinking pretty greedily here. I'm like, he's pretty low, 14,000. My Heimdall's rank 4. I think I can take him out, right, if I play this proper. This is what the fight normally would look like, but I forget that he goes straight into regeneration, so I actually don't get any damage off there, and all I end up doing is proccing more Aura of Incinerations for him. His power is going up incredibly fast. So here I'm like, oh shoot, I need a beta special, and that kind of passivity from me causes him to just get so much punishment, and I die. I think about it, I'm like, maybe I'll bring Wasp, but I'm greedy, and I go in right away. I'm like, if I'm gonna have to revive anyways, I can probably one-shot him regardless. So I bring Wasp, even though there is that persistent charge mechanic and you don't want to be just throwing wasted lives. I can't help but hope I can do it, right? Like, maybe I'll get this awesome outplay and the sweet one-shot, even though it's not super likely. So the Aura of Incineration procs, and you kind of have to time that out. The power gain on it is probably the most annoying part. Bait out the special 1. This time I'm like playing it a little bit slower, but I screw up on my combo dodge there, and I get punished, and I think I die to the poison there, not the incineration, but it doesn't matter. Death is still the same. So 20% revive from Ghost. I'm thinking, this is nice. Maybe I can just end it here. I don't have any health potions to pump into her, so I would dump those if I could, just to be safe, but you got to work with what you're given. And I actually died of the incineration there. I should have timed him out. If I just timed him out, I would have been fine, but I really thought I would be able to like powerhouse through it, and it was just greed. It was no reason for me to have to waste these 40 units, but it's 40 units I'll gladly spend. Whew. Dive into this fight here. 2% Mephisto. No way I can screw this up. It's starting to look pretty bad. I'm like, oh shoot, did I screw it up? I do get the medium dash in there and end the fight. For a second there, I was like, shoot, did I die? Like, and there's no Heimdall synergy to save me there. That is the end of Quest 5 for Act 5.4.5. Not the cleanest, but I'm rushing those 5 stars. So that's where we're at. I will catch you on the next video. Talk to you soon.